Hey team, welcome to Small Creative Big World. I'm Barv.
And I'm Becky, and this podcast is a space for us to chat about all things being small creators on the internet.
Yes, and this week we thought it would be fun, given that it's the end of the year, it's December. We thought it would be fun to take a look back on some of our favorite resources from the year. So we've got a little list of all these various things, and we'll blitz through them.
This is a very, very objective list of things we very, very subjectively like.
Yes. So take everything with a pinch of salt. These are just some of our favorites from the year or things that we could remember. Okay, where do we want to kick off?
Ooh, let's kick off with podcasts. I love a good podcast. Listen to it all the time, commuting. Just a really, really great resource to learn. People are always just like chatting about it. People are just always chatting on the God.
People like podcasts.
People like podcasts, and people just come on and yap, and it's kind of informal, but then you get a lot of context for stuff, and it's usually really updated. A couple of my favorites, 505 Podcast. Shout out to those guys. They did come over to Hong Kong just last month, and we both met them. The Waveform
Very
Podcast.
Cool guys. Very cool guys on the 505.
Very
shout out to Braden and Kostas.
Woo!
Thanks
for being our unofficial podcast mentors.
Yes.
That you guys don't know about yet, but Here we are.
But thank you in advance.
In advance. Also love listening to the Waveform podcast. I think it's just really cool to hear them talk about all like the behind the scenes of the channel and stuff. And then a couple of YouTube related podcasts because I am in deep learning mode this year. So John Yushai, Colin and Samir, and Gimel podcast. I've just been listening to all of these like nonstop and have been learning so much about the YouTube world. And when I want to learn about the writing world, I listen to David Perel's How I Write. But all really, really good podcasts, and I just take so many copious notes on them.
Nice. Okay, wait. So you are a podcast girly. I am I dip in and out of podcasts, but
yes,
only when someone says, "Hey, this is a great podcast." So, mildly ironic. But I love podcasts, but I don't actually listen to them that much. But yeah, every time someone says, "Hey, go and listen to this episode," I'm like, sick. I'm gonna go and listen to it. But yeah, talk me through each one of these. Like, why do you like them? What are your favorite things? Okay, and what are these? Because I've heard of most of them. And I've listened to some various episodes, but yeah, let's go one by one. What's 505? Talk to me about it.
Yeah, the 505 guys focus on personal brand. I think that seems to be their thing now. So they have all these various guests on their podcast. Actually, they do episodes that's just the two of them as well. They get all these like big guests, Ali Abdaal, one of them, and they basically try to walk through creators or basically entrepreneurs and people who are in the online space and talk about how they build their personal brand, what are the different aspects of it, how to monetize your personal brand as well. So just a very, very thorough episode from the guys who've really, really been in the industry for a while. So not just the hosts, but also the guests. So I think it's a really, really valuable resource, especially as we lean more into personal branding with all this like AI stuff happening all around us.
Yes, agreed. And guys, links. We will link everything that we mentioned in this episode in the show notes. So we'll create like a list. Maybe we'll create a little Notion doc actually, or Google Doc or something. A little resource that people can take away. But we will link everything in the show notes / description. So no need to worry about all of that. Cool. Yeah. No, I listened to I'm catching up on the 505 stuff. So I've listened to like a handful of episodes now. So yeah, I do like them. Cool. Waveform. I think people know this one.
Yeah, Waveform is part of the Vox Media Network. But they're also basically the podcast channel for MKBHD. And I think they do like weekly or twice a week. But I love all things tech. I started off my work as a tech reporter, so I've just been obsessed with tech like forever. And I found these guys this year. I know, very late. But it's been really, really fun. My favorite part actually is one of the hosts is like an avid film photographer. So I'm always just like in it for all the latest like photography and film updates.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think I've watched a handful of these. Again, clearly I'm not a podcast girly, but I remember one where they were talking about, was it Andrew that didn't have used his alarm for all of his tasks or something.
I sent you an episode because they were talking about to-do list apps, and I was like, I know exactly the one person who would love this episode, even without context. And I just
Correct.
sent it to you. I think they were all trying to teach Andrew. They were all like pitching different to-do apps to Andrew, and I think he was just like an alarm case.
Yes. But like, it blows my mind. But yes, I do love it to do that. That was a very fun episode. I like how it's just like super just chill. It's just very like, here are some things, and then they just have like a random discussion about it.
Yeah,
It's a fun little dynamic.
Love the nerd. Just I think it's just also like really, really cozy. I think it's really nice. Like you can feel when like podcast co-hosts are like cozy with each other, and you just feel like you're in the room with them. Which I realize like a lot of the podcasts that I listen to, all tend to be duos. And I know that there's a lot of like solo pods, but if I look through my podcast list, like I think Snipped is probably one of my most used apps ever. But it's all just like duo podcasts because I think I just like the back and forth, the banter. Which is also why I asked you to be on the pod with me instead of me just like running the show alone.
That is fair. Yeah, no, I think, again, I don't listen to that many, but I agree there is this fun dynamic. Yeah, I think there's very, very few podcasts that I'd listen to where as a solo. So it's either an interview format or there's this. But yeah, I like the back and forth too.
Yeah.
Having said that, John is the next
Yes.
podcast.
John Yushai is a solo pod, but he does a lot of really, really great interviews with a lot of YouTubers. Colin and Samir also do a lot of interviews with various YouTubers. And actually, when they have more than one guest on, which is also common because, for example, they did a really good interview with Johnny and Iz Harris. And that was a lot of people on a podcast. It was like 4 voices on a podcast, and they just kept talking over each other. It can be rowdy at times, but it's a good way. It's a good dynamic. And yeah, so John Yushai, Colin and Samir, and then also the Gimbal Pod, which is a more recent find. This is a pod started by just gonna double check his name. This is
Just to be sure.
Just to be sure. Yes, okay, it is Devin. Devin Robbins, who is the editor for Mark Manson's YouTube channel. But he's been doing these podcast interviews along with his co-host Olina sometimes. He's been doing these podcast interviews with a lot of like people behind the scenes of YouTube channels. And as like this is a very, very targeted sort of podcast. And like their podcast episodes would have like 180 views on YouTube or something. Maybe there's more on the actual podcast play. But I just find these to be like extremely helpful because they're like interviewing all these like YouTube producers and like directors. And I just want to know about all the behind the scenes because I need to do a very, very similar thing for Ali. And yeah, lastly, David Pearl's How I Write podcast. It's such an amazing writing podcast. I think David is really, really good at doing his research and asking his guests to break down their writing process. And it's very, very hard to make writing interesting, like the art of writing interesting. Like this is probably like the oldest art form there is. People have talked about it like ad nauseum. But for some reason, David is just really, really good at pulling specific examples and also asking people to talk about their specific writing process. So as a writer, I think I would consider that my primary art form. I really, really appreciate and like learn so much from all the people that come on David's show.
Yeah, I think again, I've dipped into a couple of these episodes, and they are just like he does it really well. Like it's just like, oh my god, even as a non-writer, I'm like, there's so much value in here. And I remember like I think there was a marketing episode or something that I saw, and it's just the way these people think. He's got like some really cool guests, but yeah, the way he like dips into things, I really, really enjoy. Yeah. Having said all of that, there is the Nathan Barry show, which I haven't actually listened to, but is starting to come up on my radar because I think he's got a lot of cool guests on. And I think so Nathan Barry being the founder of ConvertKit, which is now Kit, which is the email marketing platform, like super smart, super knowledgeable guy, really cool guy. And yeah, I think he's got some really cool guests and he's got some really cool episodes. So this is probably something I do want to dip into, and it's probably one for you to check out because I think you'll enjoy it. But yeah, that is becoming, that's on my radar at the moment if I add in a wild card there that I haven't listened to.
Amazing. Are these like also creator themed? Is this all a creator themed podcast?
Yeah. It's kind of it's in that world. Yeah,
got it.
Which makes sense because I guess he's doing it for Kit and stuff, and fundamentally it's probably all about the the marketing side of things. But
that makes sense. That would be nice actually because I'm having a feeling that like these guys that talk about like YouTube, like the ones that I mentioned. I think they go around the same circles. It'd be nice to check who Nathan Barry has on his
I'm
show.
sure there's probably still overlap. Like, I think there just is in the creator economy. But yeah, slightly different angle, I guess. And done by someone pretty cool.
Amazing. So that's me as a podcast girly.
Yes.
You are into books and you read way more than I do. So what are your top books for the year?
Yes. Okay. I have this little list. Okay, here's my top 5 books for the year. And I think I read them all this year. So I'm not backdating or anything. Okay. Should I go in the order I read them? Maybe I go in the order I've read them. That's kind of irrelevant. Anyway, I'm pretty sure right at the beginning of the year I read Paul Millard's Good Work. Fantastic book. I'm gonna pair this with his first book, The Pathless Path, because I think it's not like it kind of follows on. It's like similar themes and similar vibes. And I love The Pathless Path, so I was very excited when Good Work came out, and I read this at the beginning of the year. And
here you go, product placement for you.
Nice, thank you very much. Because mine are there.
I also have the hardcover there. It's gorgeous.
Actually, can we show?
Yes.
Do we have? Let's do that. So mine are blurred out here, but thank you.
I mean,
but yeah, so actually, tangent. Yeah, while Becky goes and picks up the book. So Paul released The Pathless Path, self-published a while ago. Fantastic book, and he started this really cool project this year. I think it was this year, anyways. Where he wanted to create like this incredible hardcover, really fancy version of the book with like graphics and all sorts of things. And I don't have the book because it's there. But it is phenomenal. He's put so much hard work into this. And look at that. For anyone who's listening and not watching, I would recommend you go and check out this segment on YouTube because it is an incredible book. It is so nice.
No, I can't.
No.
I tried. I'm sorry.
But there's illustrations throughout. That's. I'm going to do that again. I'll be quiet.
Wait. We got this.
Oh, no. Nice.
Okay. Look at that.
Yeah. So here's a little plug from us about Paul.
And also, thank you, Paul. You gifted these to us. You really, really didn't have to.
Agreed.
They are gorgeous, and they also came with like really beautiful notebooks and note cards. Yeah, with really, really great quote pages as well in the middle. Just
can people tell that we're Paul Millard fanboys?
Actually, just wanted to say a couple of days ago, Angus Parker, who's Ali Abdaal's general manager,
and your boss,
and my boss, was looking at The Pathless Path because Paul gifted copies for the Ali Abdaal team, and Angus said, people read Pathless Path and then they quit their corporate job to join Ali Abdaal team, and then they read Good Work and then they quit the Ali Abdaal team.
Guilty.
There's a little bit of a character arc here.
Yeah. Yes, actually, nice little segue. So I read Good Work, and I did quit my job. So I would.
Some might call it life changing.
Some might call it life changing. I would absolutely caveat and add a caution to Paul's books is the warning may make you quit your job. Anyway, Good Work, would recommend. Sorry, the gist of that is like finding what is your good work. I'm going to do a terrible version of like summarizing it, so I just go and check it out. It's not even a long book. Just go read it. Anyway, that was number 1.
Number 1.
This is absolutely not in the order I read them because I now can't remember what order I read them in. But another book I read this year that really hit was Meditations for Mortals.
That is not about meditation.
That is absolutely not about meditation. Not in the traditional sense. It's not like this spiritual. I was going to say woo woo, but like whatever. It's not that. It is literally Meditations for Mortals. It is. So Oliver Burkeman, author of 4,000 Weeks, which is also a great book. He wrote Meditations for Mortals, and basically I really like the way it's set up as well. It's basically set up in that you read a chapter a day for 30 days, or it's either 28 or 30 days. So it's like this monthly thing, and the chapters aren't long. They're like 2 to 4 pages a chapter or something, and it just makes you rethink some things that you just like take for granted or just assume. And I should have absolutely bought these books and showed you them one by one. So that's really silly. I will go and grab them in a second. But basically, he just talks about simple things about you do all these things and you work super hard, and you just need to rethink the why. Like it's the similar thing of like you can do anything, but you can't do everything. And it's just a case of like, who's telling you need to do all of these things? It's a little anti-hustle culture, which I kind of like, but not in a oh, screw hustle culture. It's just in a makes you think, makes you like kind of question your why and why you're doing it and what you really need to do, and take that step back and realize that you don't need to hustle 15 hours a day just because somebody on YouTube told you to, for example. No one in particular. Just I think it's a great book. Should I grab? No, I don't need to grab the books. You can figure out. We'll link everything below. Okay. From one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum, $1 Million Weekend by Noah Kagan. I might have read this at the end of last year, but it's semantics. But this is very good if you just want to get started on something. So the idea is that you want to start a business or something, and people like think about it for ages and ages and go like, well, either just think about it and do nothing, or overthink it and do too much and spend so long on it. This is basically just saying, figure out an idea, do a little bit of market research, see if there's something there, and go and test it. So $1 Million Weekend you can literally get started in a few days. And he kind of walks you through the process. So it's a practical book. It obviously has a theory as well, but he just makes you go and do the things. And you start small. It's not like, let's launch the next big piece of software or the next Apple. It's like, actually, what can you do? Can you start a little consulting business, a coaching business? Can you like do some lawn mowing? Whatever it is, it's starting off small, but it's practical. And I really like, I really like practical books because there is only so much theory you can consume, and you can read and read and read. But what is the point if you're not doing anything with it? So that's $1 Million Weekend.
This is the book where you're asked to ask for a 10% discount for coffee as like your first assignment.
Yes. Because he also is very big on like get rejections, which I completely agree with.
Yeah.
Like you are going to get rejected, and that's just a normal way of life. But we've somehow got to a point where we feel like, oh no, someone said no to me. But like, that's fine. Go and get 100 no's. Like that's where the growth is. But also that's where you figure out that the world doesn't end if you get a no, and you just move on to the next one. Like it's absolutely fine. But yeah, I really like the discount thing of like, just push yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit and ask for a little discount. It's so like random, and you don't need it. It's not about needing the 10%. It's just pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. So would recommend. I think I really enjoyed that. And my last one, I will stop rambling in a second, is and I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I'm gonna screw this up. It's Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guardia, maybe something like that. Will G, that's what we'll call him. I really, really enjoyed this book. So I literally just finished this a few days ago, and I just love the moral of the story of going above and beyond, but with no other reason to do so other than just wanting to give. I guess in his case, it's all about his career as a restaurant manager, and going above and beyond. And basically, he ran the best restaurant in the world, which is EMP 11 Madison Place. I think that's correct, over in New York. And he talks about all the things that he did to get to that position. And he was just obsessed with making things absolutely like just the best. But in terms of the service, not just perfection for the sake of it. He wanted people to feel really good. It was all about unreasonable hospitality. And it's kind of this trade-off as well of like, it's not that the customer is always right, but what was his line? It was the customer isn't always right, but you kind of want them to feel like they're right, if that makes sense. You want them to have that feel. You don't want to feel that they're wrong. But fundamentally, it's this thing that I love, which is just at least this is my takeaway, of just you can go above and beyond. Like no matter what you do, you can give your all in that. So you don't have to be offering like this 4-star Michelin restaurant experience to go above and beyond. You don't have to have a high ticket product to go above and beyond, right? No matter what you do, and this you can be adopted in your daily life as well. You can just make people feel good. You can give the best experience. So if you're running a community and it's even if it's a low ticket community, there's nothing to say that you can't like do one-to-ones with people and like show up for them, and it's all within reason. So I'm not saying you have to like go and spend £100 on these things, but there are tiny things you can do, and it's not about money, it's about the feeling. And I just really love the vibe of their book. Right, I've rambled for long enough. Those were my top 5 books of 2025.
Amazing. I think I've read like half of them only. So
Okay, so you've got some reading to do next year.
yeah, I got to meditate and got to be hospitable. Is
Yes.
my
Um,
assignment for next year.
yes. Excellent. And for what it's worth, I listened to Unreasonable Hospitality as an audiobook, and I think just there are some books that I really love listening to, and that's one that was good to listen to.
Oh,
Anyway.
why is that?
There are just so he narrated it,
Lovely.
and I think there are just some that is you get what they intended to deliver when they read it to you, right? So you get the right enthusiasm or the right emotions, and you get to hear it direct from them. And I think it hits different. So you can read words on a page, and yes, you will take it away. But listening to Will talk about his own thing, and I'm pretty sure it was him that narrated. I'm going to be stupid if it wasn't him. Like you get the emotion that's attached to that, and you really get to feel what they were feeling. And I think it just elevates the experience. So I always love to listen to biographies, autobiographies, memoirs. I don't know the right word, but those by the people that have written them. There's just a whole different level that you get when you hear it direct from them. So that's my 2 cents. Then nobody.
Yeah. I would agree on that actually. I listen to my audiobook like selection range is usually fiction or memoirs. And those are really the only two.
Yes.
And then I like to read nonfiction as text because
Yes.
I like taking notes.
Yes,
But
I agree.
the
I
others,
think there are
yeah.
occasionally some nonfiction that you just want to blitz through. So it's almost like a first pass. Sometimes when you're like a bit on the fence and you're like, oh, do we think there's going to be lots? And sometimes 9 times out of 10 there isn't actually lots. And when there is, you're like, cool, now I'll just go and pick up the Kindle. Or you'll get halfway through and like, no, this is definitely a Kindle or a physical book.
Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Let's
Yeah.
let's swiftly move on.
Amazing. You read books, a lot of
Yeah.
them. I read
Yeah.
a lot of shorter stuff.
Yes,
Well, we both read a bunch of articles. But I have to
I
say
read very few. This is your domain for sure.
well, it's not like I worked 2 years editing people's articles, and built my career off of it, on writing them. But the number one, I guess it's not really an article. It's a 2-hour long read. But I think the best read of this year, best online document thing, best article that I've read this year is the 100K per year. $100K year? I don't know how to pronounce it. I know how to type it out. It's
The
$100,000.
$100,000.
Oh, $100,000 YouTuber roadmap. There you
That's the
go.
one.
Thank you, English. It's written by Tintin Smith, who is the former head of YouTube for Ali Abdaal, aka my predecessor. But he basically wrote out this huge like document with a roadmap outlining how you can go from like just starting a YouTube channel to reaching $100,000 a year business. And he doesn't like add a lot of fluff in it. So it's literally just like step by step. You read it and you like make your first 10 videos, and then this is how you monetize. This is how you develop like a product or service, and this is how you like take discovery calls. This is how you like speak to your audience. This is how you poll them. This is how you like write emails. Like it's so simple, and he just gives it away for free. He also has a group coaching program which you can join, and then he guides you throughout the whole process. But I just thought that was like the most like comprehensive guide online. Like I read it and I reference it a lot, even though I'm not intending to reach 100K a year through YouTube. But I just think like he's able to distill a lot of teachings that I think a lot of us in this online like creator space are familiar with. So things like creating a lifestyle business, which is a business that's suited around your lifestyle, and then things like essentialism and focusing on like the one thing that could like drive your business forward. So he takes all these like business concepts and he's able to like map it out really, really, really nicely into this document. I cannot stop talking about it. Like I think I reference it. Bob was saying actually that she's like, I did not know you like reference it so much, and it just pops up in every other like Substack post that you write.
Now I need to read it. I
Just
did
keep
start
telling me
to.
about it.
Okay, so random story. I went to read it. I read to read it on my iPad, and this is when I realized my Apple Pencil was missing, and I never went back to do it because I was like, oh, now I don't have anything to annotate it with. I could just read it on the Kindle. I could read it on the computer. I could just read it. But
It's
anyway,
a Notion document.
it is. Oh, it's a Notion document. Oh,
It's a
okay, this
Notion
this is my
document.
gripe with articles over books. I do not like reading on the laptop. I have to have, and I don't like reading on my phone either. So I need to read on a Kindle or at a stretch like an iPad mini or something. But ideally a Kindle or a physical book. That's my problem. That's one of my many, many, many problems. So
Sounds like you have more than one.
I have multiple problems. So that's my one thing with it. I can read very short things on my phone or on a laptop, but anything over like a few, like maybe 1,000 words, and I'm like, no, this is book territory.
You know what? That's fair. 2 hours is it's a long read.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That
I will
it's time
bump it to
for-
the top of the list. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
will
If
bump it
you
to the
read
top.
one thing next year, I think that this is a really, really good one.
Okay.
Not for like, because I guess it's a like different category from like the books that you were reading. Because I think you were reading a lot about, like, I guess the books that you were reading were more like businessy, like, which makes sense because you work with people who have like reasonable sized businesses. I think Tintin's like 100K YouTuber is like specifically made for like solo creators, and I think like these people can like, you can reach 100K a year solo. So it's like a very different like operational size.
I love it. So it's for people like us.
Yeah, people like us. Exactly. Very, very relevant for small creators.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I guess even if you are not there yet, or because we're not there yet, but I guess it also gives you the roadmap, but also just gives you a little bit of inspiration. It's like, this is where you could be. Like, this is what you could achieve through this, right? If you wanted to.
yes. Yes. And it is possible to do that.
Yeah.
Not just through sponsorships.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Good job, Tintin.
Good job, Tintin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
Oh, yes. I don't have a specific article, but I really enjoyed publication called Every. They write a lot about AI stuff, and I've only really started like looking at AI stuff like this year. I first like heard about it. I kind of didn't learn anything. But because this publication focuses on AI, I was able to like absorb so much just through reading their articles. I don't read as much of them anymore, but like when I first started learning about AI, they had like language model reviews, or like how to use AI, how to prompt AI, building apps with AI, like a lot of like these guides and a lot of editorial op-eds as well. Also shout out to our buddy Inez Lee, who has been like a guest writer a couple of times now. I think the other day she just wrote one more that was on there about how ChatGPT failed her and she didn't know how to tie her presentations in her examples. No, examples in her presentations. There you go. Yes.
Nice. That
Yeah.
one's in my that's one is in my inbox to read.
Yeah.
And as I will read that soon. Okay, I know I said I don't really read articles, but there are a handful of people that I do read. One is, in fact, let me just who do I read? Okay, here are the newsletters that I subscribe to and I allow to come through. Ali Abdaal. I read Olier's because he does like a monthly newsletter, which I like.
Ooh.
Tintin, our buddy Tintin. I like his Sunday night review. I think that's really cool. And I've been reading that for a long time. Anybody else that I can think of? No. And then there's you and Inez. That's my list. I have some cool friends. Damn. Okay. So
Damn.
That's hard. I know all of those people.
Wow.
That's actually kind of cool.
Flex.
Yeah.
Subtle flex.
They're all friends. That's kind of cool. Okay. Sorry, that was not meant to be a flex. That was supposed to be a segue to say there were two articles that I read this year that kind of stood out, and that again, like I say, all of your stuff, yours, Tintin's, Inez's, really, really good. Love it. Read it all the time.
Thank you.
But there were two pieces that stood out. One was, and I think they're both really related to creators, especially like small creators, and that's probably why they hit. So one is, should we start with yours? Yours was, again, you wrote a few, but like, I really liked the blast radius of ambition.
Aw.
Yeah, this was a good one, and I think this is the reason I think this is good for small creators is because I always like it can be very lonely on the
Mm,
creator path,
yeah.
and I think it is also really difficult when the people around you don't really understand what you're doing, or are just not in this world. Because let's be honest, when you're in this world, it feels like everyone's in this world, and then you kind of step out of it and you realize that that's actually not true. There are so many people that are
Mm,
just like, YouTube, why you what like influencer, like it's becoming more and more of a thing, but
yeah.
it's still like people will just look at you and go, "What? Shut up." And I think, yeah, this was kind of nice to read because you had been through it and you felt the people around you just kind of didn't get it. And
Mm,
see, and I'm doing a terrible job. You can do a better job talking about it, but see where you wanted to go and the kind of ambition you had and the drive you had, and were just maybe happy doing their 9 to 5 or whatever. And I think that is something in the creator world as well of like you I guess with the whole, maybe it's because we're the personal development space rather than just YouTube in general, but there is this
mm,
drive to always grow and always learn. And yeah, not everyone gets that. And I think it can be really disheartening to not feel that from the people around you, especially when they matter to you, and to just be like, no, I'm going to do my thing. I'm very happy. Um, and yeah, I'm going to keep growing. So anyway, I like that. Was
oh,
the gist
thank
of
you.
that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, just today actually, Ali was recording a video with Jeff Su, who's also a friend of ours and creates on YouTube. And Jeff was talking about his early days on YouTube, and he said like he had to turn down a few social events because he's like, no, I got to get my weekly upload on YouTube. And I think when he said that, I was just like, oh my God, I remember when I used to do that because I had a stint where for a year and a half, I uploaded a video to YouTube every single week. And I was just thinking like, man, this is such like a relatable problem, but it's also such like a problem that only people who create and only people who create seriously will be able to relate. Because yeah, you hear about these like shots of like people like shooting to fame and everything, but a lot of the time it takes like a year and a half, like 90, 100 videos, maybe even more, 150 videos to like actually reach anywhere. And that's such like a struggle that I feel like small creators in particular, I feel like the big shots, maybe the ones that like blow up overnight, um maybe I actually don't know. I don't know what that experience feels like, but at least for like the small creators, it's a long path. It's like such a long game, and yeah, it's just there's a blast radius. You just lose some people along the way
Yeah.
naturally. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was a solid article. Very,
thank
very
you,
valid. Yeah. And the
thank
other
you.
one is by our buddy Inez. Shout out Inez. Double shout out.
Woo!
This was called The Quiet Path to Getting Noticed. And this was really good. And I think you can summarize it better than I can. In fact, you summarize it because you did it better, but it hit.
Okay, so it's basically about, like all these like creatory, like everyone's trying to build a personal brand, right? So they're very showy. They're like, oh my God, I just did like XYZ, and then they post it on LinkedIn or they post it on Instagram or they like create a YouTube video about it. Um and the
Which
quiet
fine for the people that it like some people
yes.
like that stuff and that works for some people, but if you're anything like us, it's a bit icky and a bit bleh. And
Yeah,
then you
and it's
feel
not
like, oh, why can't I do it?
exactly. It's not like, yeah, it's like, oh, if I don't do it, it doesn't mean that I'm not building my personal brand. And I think a lot of us feel that pressure to have to present in that level of intensity as well. But in this like Substack post, Ines kind of argues that like actually, the work that you do and like the reputation that you have, like the word of mouth, is just as valuable, if not more, than like this jazz hands that you're showing online on these like social media platforms. And actually, like referrals are still a thing. Word of mouth is still a thing. Like people still get jobs and get work and get opportunities, just through the grapevine. So so even if you're not like showy and like super loud on these social media platforms and not like blasting yourself, showing your work, as Austin Kleon says, um, it's not like there's no hope for you and your CV doesn't take you anywhere, because you still have a portfolio, you still have a CV, you're still doing good work, um, and people will notice that. Yeah,
Yeah. Agreed.
that's the
Nice.
article.
That.
But Inez says
So
it way more eloquently.
I mean, you did a pretty good job, but you're right. Inez absolutely nailed that. So they were our top 3 articles of 2025. Again, everything will be linked, so go check them out. Okay, so we've talked about some people naturally through articles, but who what do we want to do? Like the top people to follow?
Top people to follow. I'm
Top people
gonna
to follow.
double shout Tintin again. I think he's just insane in like he's building out his second YouTube channel, which is creating educational content about people who want to build 100K a year business through YouTube. And I just admire how focused he is with his content and stuff, because someone in his position and someone of his fame, if I could use that word very, very loosely, like he's basically made a name for himself, and he could basically create, like if he wanted to go on that creator path, he could, but he's really, really good at saying no and just staying focused, like staying in his lane and just being like, if I stick with this long enough, I'm gonna get there. And I've known that this year he's like said no to like a few things, and it's just so admirable how focused he is. And it's just like a really, really good example about how you can still focus. You can stay focused, like sell one thing and one thing only, and you like create all that content around one thing. I think that's just like such a good model to see in practice, because like, we can talk about focus all we want, and then I see this guy like really walking the walk. Yeah, just like huge adoration for this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He references this image a lot, and I like. It might have been the essentialism one.
Yeah,
Is it the
it's
essentialism?
essentialism
Yeah.
graph. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so I don't know if we can. I say we. It'd probably be me editing this, but like if we pop it up on the screen or we stick it in the show notes or something. But basically, I think he really took this to heart, and I again, yeah, I agree. I have so much respect for it, but you could like it's this circle, and then there's like spikes coming out of all of them, so you can like have your energy going in like 12 different directions, and you're not going to get very far in any of them. Or there's this other circle, and then there's just one arrow coming out of it, and it's like really long. So, or you can focus all your energy on this one thing and like really drive it. And I think he's really embraced that. And he's stuck to his guns, and he's doing amazingly well. And I have no doubt that he's going to do even better next year. And he's just, he's very smart and switched on, and he knows what he's doing, but he's also doing it in all the right ways. Yeah.
Quick little spoiler for the roadmap is he like plasters that graph on like a lot throughout the whole roadmap. And every time he introduces something new, he's like, email newsletter. What makes you think you can't write an email newsletter? And then he puts that graph, and then he's like, fine, you can use that to like refute me anytime. Like, it's so funny. He would like basically put that in everything to be like, don't do too much, just do like one thing.
Yeah. No, I think it makes sense. Focus on one thing, build it, then branch out to the next thing. Especially, I think that is the danger of small creators, right? Because the big creators are doing all the things, but they have either years like behind them building it to that stage, or they have a team doing all the things, and they can do it. And it's so easy to fall into that trap and be like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this, and I need to do this. When actually it is a long game. And there is still time to play the long game. And it's just focus, build one channel, then branch out. You don't need to do all of the things.
Yeah. It's as if you've given that advice out to a lot of people, including today when we hosted our first office hours.
Guys, we hosted our first office hours this morning.
Yeah, it was a cute little tiny experiment. We blasted it, I think maybe only to a handful of places, including the Pathless Path group chat. We decided that we're experts for some reason in being small creators, so much so that we name our whole podcast after it. But we wanted to take in some questions because we realized we've been getting like a couple of the same questions over and over again. Not that these are like lame questions, but we realized like, oh, actually, like maybe it'll be fun to host like a little office hours.
Savage, are you calling them lame questions?
No,
they're really mean.
No.
They're beginner questions.
They're beginner questions, and they're like questions that we had too at some point.
Yes.
It's just that we've just been on this journey a couple more years ahead, but not that far ahead. Like
Nope.
we still grapple with these questions, and we still
Yep.
struggle with the same problems and the same dilemmas, and still like spread thin. And actually, that question did come up about like, oh my god, I want to do LinkedIn, I want to do Substack, I want to do Instagram. What do I do? And like, I think both of us just said like, gotta pick one, or like just do one thing on one platform. Like you don't need to do so many things. You don't need to bring your whole personal like life into every single platform.
Yeah.
It's totally okay if your like presence on one platform is just representing one thing.
Yeah. Yeah. You tell them. Okay.
Anyway, we're gonna be hosting these office hours semi-regularly, depending on how many people are actually interested in this thing.
Yeah.
Would say today was a success. I don't know if this is a one-off. I don't know if this is continuous, but we are all about trying out things.
Yes. Yeah. Let us know in the comments, or drop us a line on various whatever social media platform you find us on if you want to come, and we'll drop you an invite, because yeah, I think it's kind of cool. I think it's really cool to build, do these and kind of share the knowledge,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Share the love.
Nice. So okay, so people to follow: Tintin Smith.
Tintin Smith.
Who else have we got?
Someone I discovered this year was Colt Kirwan, and his videos are just like this nostalgic blast from the past. Like, it's got like Oscar the Grouch, and it's got like Boots from Dora the Explorer. Just like so imaginative, and such like a creative way to tell stories that like really made me fall in love again with just like, oh my god, this is like YouTube video as like YouTube or video as an art form, and not like videos that are like optimized for like retention and stuff. But he's just like got this like really imaginative brain. It really inspired me actually to like make YouTube videos. The vlog that I did this year when I visited my family, I like stole a couple of his like shots. And it was just so fun because I was like, oh, it's actually nice to have fun like telling stories through a video format that I don't normally get to exercise. It's a once a year thing, so my YouTube channel is still dead, but you know, it's there.
Nice. I love it. Once a year is still posting. That's still you go. Okay.
Excuse me.
Anyone else?
Yes, Jack Conte. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He is the co-founder of Patreon, but he also runs this channel called Digital Spaghetti. And this is like him just like interviewing creators and just like literally looking at videos and annotating videos and asking all these creator questions. And not gonna lie, I did find out about him because when I was watching Colt stuff, Colt went on Digital Spaghetti to talk about like the process about him making his videos, and I realized like, oh my god, Jack's been making like a bunch of these other content. And actually just a couple days ago he released this like New York Times op-ed, video op-ed, and it's about like how he's aiming to create like a social media platform, or like how Patreon is like the social media platform that's designed to like showcase a whole artist's like discography and portfolio instead of it being algorithmic. But it was such high production value, so beautifully made. I didn't even watch the whole thing because it was one of those videos that I was like, oh my god, I need to like, because I was watching it in the office, like doing my original like my regular like YouTube research, because I just go on YouTube every single day to see what content is popping off and what's in my feed, what's in the feed of like my other burner accounts, all of that fun stuff. This video popped up and I watched it and I was like, oh my god, I need to appreciate it. So I didn't even finish watching the video, but it's so beautiful. I like recorded gifs of it. I sent it to a bunch of people. I was just like, oh my god. I think like art is so beautiful. Anyway, let me get off my soapbox.
I
People to
love it.
follow.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I like it. That's cool. I will throw in 2 into the mix. Not original at all. The first one is Ali Abdaal, and
Who is he?
oh, this super annoying guy. No. Okay. So what I will say as small creators, Ali does a lot of stuff. So he started off obviously with productivity stuff, and then leaned kind of into that, and then has slowly been like dipping into like the side hustle business side of things, and it's getting more frequent.
Yeah.
And I think he has a lot of cool stuff around A, just thinking about it, and B, like more practical things. So what I would say is caveat that again, with the whole hustle culture, like he's not too bad, but like it's not
No,
the
he's
only
not.
way of doing things at all. And there are definitely other ways of doing things, but I think in terms of like getting the your brain kind of going and starting to think about things, I've watched, unsurprisingly, a lot of his stuff, and I yeah, I think he's a good one to watch if you're kind of starting out, or well, actually wherever you are, because what he's done is actually really good. Like in terms of building that creative business, he's kind of setting the standard for a lot of people. I guess sorry, my caveat is he's also very far ahead of people.
Uh,
So that's something to think about when watching. But his actual content is really good. And then the other one that I've kind of been watching a lot more of this year is from someone called Daya, who I think did take PTYA once upon a time, the Part-Time YouTuber Academy. But yeah, Daya is making content around actually, I don't know what her official tagline is, but she's making content about how you can earn money online. And I know she has like a program about how you can become an online business manager and on all of that stuff. So she is someone who I think, in terms of the outside looking in, has, I guess, almost followed, she's not following Tintin's model, but that kind of thing. She's created that creator business for herself. So she's built up her following and her brand on YouTube, done it incredibly well, creates really good useful educational content for people, and then has created courses and cohorts, or other stuff off the back of it, and has built a business around it. And I think her stuff is really, really bloody good. So yeah, she basically teaches you the things she's learned and the roadmap. So kind of similar to Tintin, but more around businesses in general, and not necessarily like the 100K, but just like whether it's getting started or building to that 6-figure business, but just business in general. So yeah. Those are probably my two shout outs. One old, one new, I guess. And then us, obviously. Can we put ourselves in this?
Yeah. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Watch
The
us.
louder path to getting noticed is
I love it.
to put ourselves on a
it.
podcast and like hype ourselves up, I guess.
Yes, exactly. Because talking to each other wasn't enough. We needed other people to listen to all of our rambles. But yes, this is hopefully what we want to build it into, is a place for, this is the go-to that we want for small creators. Like that's what means something to us. That's the community that we want to build. That's the vibes that we want. So hopefully we'll do that with your help. Nice. Okay, should we move on?
Yeah.
What's
We've
next?
done a lot of learning this year. You've helped
Yes.
you've helped some people as well launch their courses, or you've actually been involved in a lot of these courses. Yeah, what are our favorite courses of the year?
Oh, so this is okay. You're much better at courses than I am. Okay, so here's mine. Again, one old, one new. Unsurprisingly, the Part-Time YouTuber Academy, Ali's PTYA. This will always have a special place in my heart because I feel like it's my baby.
No.
It just, yeah, it's just, but it genuinely does offer value, and I would recommend it to people. Now, it is kind of expensive. So I'm not saying this is the only path, but like if you have the money, I think it's totally worth the investment. And yeah, I guess I've been with it since it launched its cohort 1 as a student, and kind of like semi helping out as a peer supporter, and then kind of eventually taking over the program and running it, which was super cool. So yes, okay, I am slightly biased with this, but having said that, the Part-Time YouTuber Academy, aka PTYA, would highly recommend to anyone wanting to get into YouTube. It does go into all of the relevant things. It is something that covers a lot because Ali was pretty successful when he created it. So it does go right from the beginning all the way through to the end. So there is a possibility that you get overwhelmed and you don't need all of it.
Yeah, there's something like 143 modules or something, right?
Yeah, okay. Well, that's because it got chopped up. But when we were running it live, it was just like a 4-week course. And therefore, like, there were 2...
It was 4 weeks, and then it became that.
Yeah, because I guess the modules get shortened and all sorts, but it was like 4 weeks of 2-hour sessions, maybe a week. But then it kind of gets chopped up, and you can digest it. So don't let the number of modules throw you off. Yeah, not essential, but definitely worth going through when you're starting out.
Mini shout out to that is that the course doesn't run live anymore, but the community's still active.
Yes.
And there's still like events being hosted. So I think next week is, well, it would pass already, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
friends
This
of
will have finished.
yeah, it's gonna be over. But they're like the most recent event would be like this Creator Week from mid December 2025. One of our friends, Kaylin, is on it, like doing a little workshop. Not sure what about, but her success most likely, and
Yeah.
her journey as a creator. She's a big shot, guys.
She is a big shot. Maybe
Yeah,
it's either community or like
probably.
YouTube. She knows her stuff, guys.
She
That's all
knows
you
her
need to know.
stuff. But yes,
Um,
people would come in every now and then to give workshops. And it's so cool because you get to like actually ask questions. And even if you watch the recording afterwards, there's no harm in like reaching out to them and also just like hearing what other questions get answered there. So like
yeah.
our office hours, but like proper. It's great.
Hey, our office hours are proper too.
We'll get there.
Um,
We'll get there.
we'll get there. We'll get there. So that's my old recommendation. My new one is and I really hope this is what it's called, and I haven't made this up. But Joe Gannon, another friend of ours, who runs a agency called Amplify, which is like a kind of a social agency, social media agency. And he launched a course this year called Personal Brand Mastery. I really hope that's what it's called. But that's really cool. So that kind of, again, it's along the personal brand lines, and it's focused primarily on LinkedIn, which again is very relevant to a lot of people. And again, if you want to like start going into coaching or consulting or just find jobs or whatever, LinkedIn is important. Or actually, just LinkedIn is having its moment right now, as you know. So. Guys, if you need any LinkedIn help, Becky is your girl. She knows all of the stuff, and she has a ton of knowledge. And actually, has filmed stuff for Ollie's Lifestyle Business Academy as well. So
yeah, the LinkedIn coach for some reason.
you are the LinkedIn coach. But
LinkedIn coach.
Joe
I'm gonna
has
start
this
having
course.
office hours there too.
Oh,
Wild.
nice! So, guys,
Yeah.
if you want Becky's, see, you can come to ours for free. Why would you not just come to ours for free?
That's fair. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Ali. And then, so yeah, I think I went through Joe's founding cohort because I kind of helped him a little, like build it out and stuff, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's my one new, one old. But you learn and do courses way more than I do. So what's on your list?
Yeah, earlier this year, I took Write with AI from Every, which RIP, I joined the second and last cohort, because the lead writer of
Typical.
Every, yeah, I just joined writing courses and then they end. I think this is like,
Yeah, I think there's a pattern here.
oh no,
I think we
but
found the
yeah,
common denominator.
oh no, just realized it. Oh no. But anyway, the lead writer, Evan Armstrong, has left and is now writing on The Leverage on Substack, doing pretty well, doing his own thing. But yeah, that was the first time I actually learned how to use AI to write, and I think it just taught me so many of like the fundamentals that I needed, including like how to train an LLM to kind of do what you want, like how to use context windows, like all of these things that I guess is like the 101 of AI, but it just was very specific to like a writing application. So I really enjoyed that course, even though it was live for about 4 weeks. It didn't happen in my time zone, so I was just catching up on the recording every single time. But it was great. I loved it. And AI changes a lot, but I think it was enough for me to get started and get going. And then another AI related is Nat Eliason's Build Your Own Apps, which is kind of like a vibe coding course. He uses Cursor and like demonstrates a bunch of different like little mini projects, including like one capstone project as well, on how to vibe code with Cursor. And this also kickstarted me into like vibe coding, because like this year I made a bunch of little mini web apps. My favorite being actually like Chrome extensions. Like I love making Chrome extensions. It was just so fun. It's really fun to be able to like think of something and then just like make the thing.
Yeah, because your Chrome extensions are live, right? You've actually
Yes, they're live.
submitted
You can
and launched them.
yeah, they're on the Chrome like web store. Isn't that it's insane? I feel like they shouldn't allow people to do that. Well, I guess I did go through a verification process to be fair. But yeah, it was just fun to like vibe code stuff. not that I ever thought I was going to be a coder. And I think you still need like some knowledge of coding. So my knowledge of HTML and CSS and like basic Python came into play. No, not Python, PHP. Wow, this is how much I know about coding. Two very different things.
Oopsies.
Two very different things. I've always been like a web girly, so that's why I only know like HTML and stuff. But it was still very, very helpful because the logic is similar with coding.
Yep.
It's math. It's like brackets. Notion formulas are just like brackets. Oh, that's actually a really good like application that I've used. Is like because you know how Notion has like databases and they have like all these like formulas and stuff. And you can kind of like configure it to do different things. But if I don't want to think of a like what formula goes there, then I just vibe code it and like I just like literally ask ChatGPT. I'm like, I want this result from like this thing, and then
Yep.
there's a few trial and errors because like these LLMs are not like experts, although they keep getting better at like
Yep.
coding. But I've built like a lot of cool Notion dashboards through like vibe coding.
Nice.
Yeah, and then the last course that I will shout out is the 1K challenge from Ali's team, and it is basically helping people make their first $1,000 online. And I think this is like so apt for us as like small creators because I think there is like yes we can always say like selflessly like oh my god we want to do it like for the art for the creative expression and stuff, but somewhere in the back of our minds I think we're hoping to make a little bit of coin out of it. And 1K challenge was such like a good like it felt like I know there's like all these like 100K a year and stuff, but for me like making 1K online felt like a lot less intimidating. And then in the end I did like make more than that, but it just was like it was a nice enough like stepping stone for me to make the first step into doing these things.
Yeah. Nice. Look at
Yeah.
us making money online.
Oh my god. Yeah. What a
We're
wild,
growing.
wild life.
We're growing. Okay, shall we wrap up with
Yes.
apps? Top apps of the year.
Ooh. All right. Hit me with yours.
Yes. Okay. My favorite app of all time is Things 3.
Oh my god.
It's just
she made me download it a couple of weeks ago. And now
it's
it
not
runs
cheap,
my
guys.
life.
See? It's not cheap and it's iOS only. Mac only, iOS and Mac. But it's fantastic. It's a to-do app. You don't need it. There are, other ways of writing down your to-dos, but I've tried pretty much every single to-do app, and this is hands down my favorite. No matter what I try, I always come back to this one. It's just nice. And I think there are things that it won't do, but actually in hindsight, that adds constraint. So you can get all these apps that will do a million different things and have every variation possible. What I really like is that actually doesn't do that. It basically is a very simple to do app that has projects and areas. So you have projects and they live within an area if you so choose. And you don't need to use it if you don't want to, and then you just assign a date and you can assign a deadline. Anyway, Things 3, highly recommend. Very nice looking app. My favorite thing ever. Just needed to get that off my chest. That is why we have this section, because I just wanted everyone to know about Things 3. And it runs seamlessly across all your Mac devices. So watch, phone, iPad, Mac. You do have to buy them separately, which is really annoying. So I'm sorry about that. Again, not cheap, but
once in a lifetime, right? It's not a subscription.
Yes, that is what I like about it. It is a one-time purchase, which is very rare these days. Okay, I will stop talking about Things 3, but I do love it. Okay, my favorite apps are a bit more like chilly, like more chill vibes. Yeah, that sounded weird. I just meant they're okay. I'll just talk about them. Okay, so Things 3 is like my productivity app of choice, I guess I would say. But two other things that I really like. One is called Bookshelf. I read an okay amount. I don't read like loads, but I like keeping track of what I've read, and I like being able to rate it. Now, I know people use Goodreads. I don't need the social element. I don't need any of all of this. Like, I like checking Goodreads for a rating if I'm deciding what book to read, but beyond that, I don't need it. I just want a very simple, aesthetically pleasing tracker for my books. That for me is an app called Bookshelf. I think there are multiple bookshelves. That sounded weird. I think there are 2 bookshelf apps.
Huh.
And only I'm talking about a very specific one. So again, I will link this below. It's about 13 or 14 pounds a year. So this one is a
Mm.
subscription, but it's annual, but it's worth it. It just lets me it does a lot more stuff that I use it to do. Like you can take notes and all of this stuff. But all I want is a really nice way for me to start to track what books I'm reading, the start date, the end date, give it a rating, and then it's got a couple of nice widgets. So then I can look at my stats and say, I read X amount of books this year. Love it. Just simple, does what it says on the tin, so to speak. And then my third app, I technically have 4, but I'll go with this one, is Sofa. Sofa is a really cool...
Your apps are just they're just furniture.
They're trackers. No. Oh, yeah, bookshelf and sofa. Oh, no.
Yeah, you have a bookshelf behind you, and I have a sofa behind me.
Yeah.
This is...
Bookshelf, sofa, and things. I see there is a trend. Okay. Maybe I need one called Lights or something next. Desk. Okay,
Desk.
I should not make app. You're right. Sofa is a downtime, managing your downtime app. I think that's how it's pitched. It's an app made by Sean Hickman, who's a really cool guy. And
what the heck does that mean? Managing your downtime. It sounds like
Okay.
a juxtaposition here.
No, I know you don't understand what downtime is.
No,
but
I don't. I don't. Just wear a nose tape and grind.
Yeah,
Go.
yeah. Oh God, no. Okay, Becky, no. Okay. Downtime is very important. If you're anything like me and are very lazy, then you spend your evenings and weekends doing nothing, and you're like, oh, what should I do? And there's like so many things you could do. It's like I have all these TV shows I could watch, all these movies I could watch, all these books I could read. Let's be honest, I'm not reading, but
We
so-
just proved that you were.
yeah, I kind of read it. Yeah, okay, I read
Says the
sporadically.
person who creates a reading plan at the
Yeah,
beginning of
that's
every month.
okay. Okay, I do read. It just goes through phases. Okay, fine.
There's
But-
a post about it on Substack.
That's-
Cheeky plug.
Oh God, there's a post about it. I'm very lame. But anyway,
That's very
basically,
cool.
so you're very kind. It's not true. So I love watching films. I love watching TV shows, and sometimes I just want a place to keep that, and I don't like just making notes. Sofa is really good because it has these groups, and you can even do podcasts now, and you can actually listen to the podcasts in Sofa now. But what I like about it is it also creates a logbook, so you can go in and say when you've watched it and kind of tick it off. So that's really cool. So you can have a logbook. You can just like you can create all these different shelves. So you can have one about games or like board games or like actual games.
Wow.
It's really cool, and he's put a lot of work into building the app out. So it's basically like a second brain for downtime, which I know doesn't compute for a lot of people. But if you're anything like me and like downtime and like messing around and doing nothing except just watching TV or something, then this is a cool app. I will stop talking about Bookshelf now. I will let you tell me what your favorite apps are.
Yeah, these are like, it's insane. I'm just looking it up. Like, be intentional with your downtime. Damn.
Yeah.
Never feels like a chore. Damn. Most of the apps we use today are designed for work. Sofa is a productivity app intentionally designed for play.
See?
I'm still like mind blown that an app like this exists. I had no idea. This is insane.
It's great. There is a free version and a paid version. I have used both. The one annoying thing, the free version is probably good enough for most people. The one annoying thing I found is that I really like to use sticky notes, which is their version of like notes. Because like after I watch something, I might want to just rate it. You can build custom ratings and stuff. I don't know if that's on the free plan or the paid plan. But anyway, that's the one thing you need the paid plan for. I was going to shut up. Please tell me what your apps of choice are.
My apps are all they're all interlinked. And they are part of my
There's a system.
There's a system. It's like my second brain.
Okay.
Yeah, so they all feed through Readwise, which is this like integrator thingy that processes all your notes and highlights and everything. So I take a lot of notes on everything. So Readwise Reader is like my feed reader, and this is how I read all of my newsletters and stuff. I think I'm on their like founding plan or belief plan or something, like because I'm just so like I can't live without it. I'm obsessed. Or like it's one of my like if I had to trim all subscriptions, I would trim YouTube Premium before this. Like it's so integral to like my note taking and everything. So it pulls all like my Kindle highlights, my podcast highlights, which I use the app Snipped. Janky as heck, but there is no podcast player that allows you to export highlights. I think there's Air, but
Yeah.
that was even jankier.
Yes.
But Snip is still kind of janky, but it works. You listen
enough.
to a podcast, like what else? What more do you need? And then I like all the highlights get pulled into both Rome and Notion, and Rome is where I built my outlines for all of my Substack stuff, actually including like YouTube and everything, because like basically I can just search the podcast or like the article or the Kindle book that I pulled the highlight from and just tag it in there in case I want to reference something. Um, and then I write all my Substack posts on like Notion. So these apps I use like every single day, at least every single week because I've been publishing a Substack post every single week for past couple of years.
So Rome, Notion, Snipped, Readwise.
Yeah, those
Nice.
4. They're all
Okay.
set. They all like integrate with each other. It's amazing. I love everything integrated to Readwise as like the number one like intermediate stage, because then if something goes wrong, I'm not like going into like, it's not like 5 different systems connected to 5 different things and then it outputs like 5 different other apps. It's nice to just have like all centralized in one. Oh, kind of like if you have like a smart home system, everything is like integrated through like your Google Home, like Google HomePod or like Apple HomePod. It's Google HomePod? I don't know. But yeah, basically it's like integrated.
Apple
There's like
HomePod.
one intermediary. And
Yeah.
I think that is just like really nice. Like in my head, the system works. But yeah, I can't live without any of these. And also like jot down like essay ideas in like my room like all the time. Oh, it's like to the point where because I know everything gets like imported and like eventually funneled through Rome, and Rome like allows you to like double bracket tag stuff. So when I'm making like highlights on like Kindle or like my podcast or something, I would just like double bracket essay idea, and then when I go on Rome and I look up the essay idea tag, like it'll just pop up and it'll show like what quote exactly like inspired that essay idea. So
Nice.
kind of obsessed. Yeah.
Okay, fair. Look, the system works, and that's the most important thing. It didn't work for me, but it works for you. You got to find your own system.
Find your own system.
Nice. Actually, while I remember, the one thing I will say, which is not technically an app, but a piece of software, but like going through this whole like Sole Trader thing or whatever this year, for anyone looking for this will only be the UK, but for anyone looking for business bank accounts, again, not financial advice. If anyone's looking for business bank accounts, I ended up using one called Metal, and I really do recommend that. And then it comes with your accounting software called Free Agent for free, as long as you have money going into the account, which hopefully you would. Otherwise, why would you open a business account? So that's my only other like shout out, which I guess is technically an app, but yeah, it's also a bank. But nice. Okay, cool. That was a fun list. Okay, I think we kind of captured most things.
Hopefully it was helpful, and if you do try any of these out or like read any of the stuff that we mentioned or watch anything, let us know, because we want to like get hyped about these stuff with like other people that are not us.
Yes, because we're bored of talking to each other about it. Nice.
Basically.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Should we... Okay, so one thing we want to do is next time we want to... Because we're now, I guess, kind of midway through December, what we want to do is probably round off the year with like a reflections episode, which we probably won't release until the beginning of January, but like we'll probably record it this side of the year, which will be kind of fun. So I think that will be fun to do, to just like recap the year. I think we both started in very, very different situations at the start of the year, and a lot has changed.
Different employment situations. That's for starters.
Yep. So yeah, that has changed. But before we wrap up, shall we end on some updates? Because it's been, although we're on track technically for filming and releasing episodes, we actually haven't recorded since the end of September. So that's 2 and a bit months. And if I remember correctly, we were both going off for various travels at that point. So, Becky, what have you been up to since then?
Oh my goodness, where have I not been? Well, first of all, I have furniture now, which
Yippee!
Not very far from the space, but got a table, got a couch. yeah, basically have stuff in my flat that's not
You
just
even
a
have a
desk and a
Christmas
chair.
tree.
I even have a Christmas tree. It's got a little cute little Christmas lights. I love it.
Yeah.
Little vibe. Bob's suggestion to get Christmas lights actually for my little Christmas tree that I've had for about 8 years now.
Wow. It's very important.
Yeah.
Sparkle.
Sets the mood. That's the mood.
Yeah.
And then went off to Indonesia for a team offsite. So went to Bali and Gili Islands, and then I flew over to the States to do a little, not little, to do a proper photography road trip with good friend of mine, and we crossed like 3 states and stayed in a bunch of national parks and forests, including Yosemite, which was amazing. Oh, it's gorgeous, gorgeous place. And I'm still like going through the photos, and um yeah, it's just when I was there, I was just like, oh my God, I'm like stressing about an upload schedule, and like this is actually like what's around us. It's so great.
Yeah, I'm very jealous. It looked like a very cool trip.
It was amazing. We can totally go at some point. And then I came back to Hong Kong, and then a bunch of people decided to like abuse my free flat now that I have a flat that has like a sofa bed. Someone
See?
made it a point to get a sofa bed instead of just a sofa. Um and so you were here for about a month.
You brought it on yourself. You can't like buy a sofa bed and then be like, why are people staying? Because
Exactly.
there's a spare bed. So
That's so true. And then my friend came with her partner. Um, Even though it was just like 24 hours ish less. And then I think I had like maybe 36 hours between you and my whole family arriving in Hong Kong. So it's just, yeah, people have been coming in and out. Like apparently I have like a full lodging. I'm like booked out. But yeah, so that was,
you've also just advertised that fact. So you'll have other people saying, oh, can I come and stay?
oh dang.
Yeah.
Not in Hong Kong, guys. No, I'm kidding. Just drop me a message.
I've moved.
I've
I'm in
moved.
Alaska.
Yeah. Drop me a message. You know where I am. You know where to find me. And then on the work side of things, just really quick shout out is I think since then I've had 2 videos in Ollie's channel hit like 1 of 10, which is
Yay!
basically YouTube Studio is really mean, and they like rank all your uploads. Every single one of your upload against the previous 9 uploads, and then it shows like where the video ranks in relation to the previous 9 uploads in terms of views by the same time it was by like the time it was published. So like a video that has been published for 2 days would be compared to like where the previous 9 videos views were at in like that 2-day mark. But the one that I am like most proud of is called How to Change Your Life. It was a video that I kind of concepted and I pitched, and it's basically like, oh, instead of doing like a think week, like just do like a think day, and like what would you do if you had like 4 hours to like alter the course of your life. So it was like great production, I think. Well, we hired a couple of professionals to shoot that. Although I kind of also like directed the thing and like helped like structure the video and like structure the hook and everything. Yeah, one of my best work, I think. It's about like 600,000 views now. Which
Nice.
I'm really proud of.
Nice.
And then apart from that, like as a result of that 1K challenge course earlier, I started doing stuff on LinkedIn. And primarily helping people like revamp their LinkedIn profiles. I think I just took LinkedIn for granted because I've always like kind of worked in the financial world. So it was like the most natural social media platform to be on was LinkedIn. And then I realized like, oh my God, everyone wants to use LinkedIn now. And nobody really knows what LinkedIn is apart from this like business salesy platform. And I was like, oh, actually there's like ways that I've used it that was not very I've never used it in like a business salesy way because I was a reporter. So there was nothing to sell. But yeah, so I am on LinkedIn if anybody needs like some like tips or pointers or just want to talk LinkedIn. You know where to find me. I have a couple of free resources that are out that Bob very kindly helped to spruce up. But yeah, they're all free, so feel free to check them out.
Nice.
Yeah,
You've been
but
doing a lot. It's been very busy.
yeah, that was just oh my goodness, 2.5 months. But that was me. You've been busy too. You've also been like hopping around all over. What have you been
I've been
doing?
semi-busy. Not as busy compared to you, but I've been yes, I have yes. Okay, what have I been doing? I was in Lisbon for the first week of October, I think. Out doing some work or work related with Jamie Rawsthorne. yeah, I'll dig more into that actually in the reflections episode because I got lots of thoughts and stuff on that to update people on. And then we did a family trip, which was really cool. So I say family, it was kind of it was us and then my uncle's fam. So like there were two of us, and they organized this really cool thing, and we went to Egypt. We did this cruise down the Nile, which is so cool. So
Sounds
would highly
amazing.
recommend it if you could do it. So basically got a boat for like I think it's like 4 nights or something, 4 nights, 5 days, and you kind of fly out there. And yeah, you just literally cruise down the Nile from one point to another, and they feed you all day and they take you on these little trips. And it's a lot of fun, and the weather was incredible. So that was nice. And then what else have I been doing? Yes, then I came to Hong Kong for a month and crashed. Thank you for that. So the downside of having a sabbatical is you have no money, so you can't go and do the things you were planning on doing, and therefore you have to save on accommodation and just go and sleep on your friends' sofas. So yeah, watch out, the rest of you. I'm coming at some point. To all
Oh,
of
she's
you.
coming next year. She already has a plan.
I got a plan. I'll be traveling on a budget. So that was fun. And then yeah, I guess I semi alluded to earlier. I'm weighing up the whole freelancing versus employment situation. What do I want to do? What kind of feels right? Figuring out how to I guess build the personal brand that we've been talking about. So a lot of travels, a lot of thinking, a lot of figuring stuff out. And that's me in a nutshell. So that's kind of where we're at.
It's been a hectic couple of months, and
Yeah.
we'll share that all.
Yeah.
Because
In a couple
why
of
not?
weeks. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it'll be really cool to do a reflections episode. Kind of look back at the year. Yeah, and see what's happened, because there's been a lot going on. That will be a lot of fun. And we even hosted our first office hours this morning, which is kind of really, really freaking cool.
Yeah. I mean, this podcast didn't exist like 6 months ago. So,
Yeah, I didn't know you at the beginning of the year.
oh my goodness. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah. I was at a
So,
bank in the beginning of the year. What the heck?
right?
What
Okay,
a
cool.
blip of a
I'm
moment.
excited to dig into this. This is going to be fun. Alrighty,
Yeah.
team, we'll call it there. I don't know how long we've been rambling for, but yeah, as always, if you liked it, do the usual, hit the like button, subscribe, leave us some comments down below. Let us know what you did and didn't like, and follow
Thank you,
us on
Corliss.
various platforms. Oh yeah, thank you, Corliss. We have one guaranteed viewer, and it is Corliss, and we just want to shout you out because we really appreciate it. I met Corliss when I came to Hong Kong, not for the first time, but yeah, that was fun. Corliss took us, Corliss' recommendation. We went for dinner,
Oh my
and it
goodness.
was the best. It was one of the best meals. So thank you,
Maybe I
Corliss.
should have that for dinner.
Oh,
It was char siu with scrambled egg, guys, which is like
so good.
barbecue roasted pork belly. Oh
So
my
good.
goodness. I think it's barbecue roasted pork, but there was an option to change it to pork belly, and Corliss recommended to change it to pork belly. There were no
Yeah.
regrets.
No, zero regrets.
Okay,
Right,
now
we're clearly
we gotta
hungry.
wrap this up because
Let's go.
I need to eat.
Okay, let's go. Right, people, we'll see you in the next one. As always, thank you for watching, listening, wherever you are in the world. And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye, guys.